On the internet and around the world, 1,000 gurus sell different remedies to cure human misery. And yes, we badly need better treatment for depression. The great news is that behind the scenes, researchers are now unlocking many secrets about human happiness. We are discovering that we can literally change our neurochemistry by changing our lifestyles in many different ways. Happiness is often described as a very personal feeling. We tend to think of it as something that happens inside our minds, something shaped by our personality, our motivation, or our attitude toward life. But researchers approach happiness differently. They ask people across the world to evaluate their lives using the same questions and the same scale. The visual you are seeing comes from the World Happiness Report. People in each country were asked to rate their current life on a scale from 0 to 10, where 10 represents the best possible life they can imagine for themselves. What immediately stands out is that happiness is not randomly distributed. Countries cluster into higher and lower levels of reported well-being. Northeastern countries tend to score consistently high, while on the other hand, some regions affected by conflict, instability, or economic issues tend to score much lower. This pattern is important. If happiness were only about individual mindset or personal resilience, we would expect scores to be scattered more randomly across the globe. Instead, we see strong regional patterns that tells us something fundamental. Happiness is shaped not only by who we are, but also by where and how we live. To make this more concrete, think about your own daily lives. Consider access to healthcare, predictable schedules, public safety, transportation, social trust, or even the ability to plan ahead financially. These are not abstract ideas. They influence stress levels, sleep, relationships, and the sense of control we have over our lives. Now imagine trying to focus on gratitude, optimism, or self-improvement while worrying about safety, housing, or basic human needs. The data reminds us that happiness does not exist in a vacuum. It is embedded in social, economic, and political contexts. At the same time, this map does not mean that individuals in lower scoring countries cannot be happy, nor that individuals in higher scoring countries are always happy. Instead, it shows probabilities and patterns. It tells us that some environments make well-being easier to sustain than others. This global perspective sets the foundation for our course. It helps us to understand that happiness is not simply a private achievement. It is influenced by structures, by systems, and shaped by conditions. From here, we can begin to ask a more precise question. If environment matters, what happens when environments and lifestyles change rapidly?